Hey guys, I wanted to do a video of my Kirby Lambert custom knife collection, and he's one of the makers that I've been collecting, man, probably for 5 years. I think I picked up my first Kirby Lambert around that time, and it was just ever since then I've been trying to, if I see one pop up that I like, I will purchase it. So I've been buying one or two a year since then. He's not the most. I think he's one of the best custom knife makers out there. And he is, pretty desirable. So it's not, it's not easy to get his stuff, but it does pop up. So I do appreciate that he's one of those makers that you can, buy one or two knives a year if you're actually looking for them. But I remember the first knife that I held in my hand, and I couldn't have been more impressed with regards to the fit and finish. And just about anyone you ask who's handled a Kirby Lambert knife will tell you the fit and finish is world class. I actually haven't held a knife to this day, besides other Kirby Lamberts, that I consider to have a better fit and finish than that first one that I've ever purchased. And that's not only that, I love his designs. Obviously, you can see a good variety of different styles of knives that I've been able to acquire, and I'll kind of go over that. But he's one of the only makers that I will pretty much buy sight unseen, because I know the fit and finish is going to be great, and I know that the designs are going to be great. And I think I have just about every flipper he's produced. I know there's probably two out there, one or two, maybe three out there that I haven't been able to acquire. But like I said, if one pops up and I don't have it in my collection, I'm really interested in getting them, just because I like his designs and I like his fit and finish. So one of the things that I find interesting is, although the Lamberts have different models, they all look pretty similar. But I saw a couple times some well-known purveyors, and these are the guys that buy knives and sell them for really high amounts of money, had these really expensive Lamberts listed on their website incorrectly. So basically, they would take a Lambert and they would call it, and in this case, it was a Crossroads, that they called it an Augustus, but they were asking like $3,000 for it or plus, and so I thought it was pretty impressive that they would list it. Of course, it's a Kirby Lambert. Of course, it has the nice materials and all things like that. It's just I wanted to do a video to kind of show the different models of knives and just point out little nuanced differences, just in case you're looking for a Lambert, because they are, especially if they're not lined up next to each other. If you don't kind of know the models, it is easy to get them confused. So we'll just start. I'm going to start with the ones that are sideways, because these are extras, and the bottom row are all different models. But we'll just start with this one. This is a Snap, and this is actually a Tad edition. Now, Tad is a company, Triple Aught Design, that does great clothing, and just about every custom knife maker has done a collaboration with them. And actually, I have two of them, and we'll get to the other one. But this is a Snap that he did that was sold through the Tad company. And this is another Snap here. This one is a Damascus a blade. And just a few things that I've learned. I'm not an expert at all, but just over the time of collecting these things, you can see this one has a 3D build clip. This one has an older style clip. So Kirby does do these clips, and they are newer. And I think around the time he changed the pocket clip style, he went from IKBS, which this is my only IKBS knife here of Kirby Lambert's, to a caged bearing system. Okay, and this one is actually my favorite. This is a Augustus model with Macomi and Mammoth, and has a really beautiful blade. Beautiful Damascus blade. And Kirby just does every detail is absolutely amazing. So they're awesome to hold and feel. It's just kind of something else. But that actually is pretty interesting. So I asked him about most of them. You'll see they'll have a logo on the blade, and I'll show you this one here. You see that Lambert spider? That is his logo that he's been using. And this one didn't. And this one he actually signed right here. And he had said that if he didn't feel the logo would look good on the blade because of the it being so dark, he would sign them. So the funny part is, I've only seen 3 of them like that, and I bought all 3 of them. So, okay, so we'll go with this one here. This is a snap. This was the smallest version up to recently, and he also did change the flipper tab. So you'll see the old models, even you'll see some Blitzes with the old, and some Crossroads with the old flipper tab style. We'll go into that, but the new flipper tabs have a little bit different style. This one here is G10 with carbon fiber. It runs on the IKBS, like I said, and has the pocket clip, the old style pocket clip. And actually, believe it or not, the IKBS, this is smooth is not the right word because everyone uses that interchangeable with loose. They're all smooth, but this is the loosest of all the knives. Okay. So this one here actually was sold through Triple Aught Design as well. It's not a Kirby Lambert design per se. This is actually a Dauntless, and I've actually had the pleasure of handling quite a few Dauntlesses. Most of them have the thumb studs. So when I saw this one that was a flipper and made by Kirby Lambert, I absolutely had to get it. It was just one of those knives where they don't pop up very often. So when it did pop up, you just kind of got to be ready. And I was able to get my hands on this one. I'm pretty lucky since they only made 10 of them. And I think Kirby actually did 10 of them with the thumb studs as well. But, obviously I like the flipper knives. So that's kind of why I went with this one. I'm going to open these up here. So you can see that it's not necessarily his design, but it has a lot of styling cues. So, you can look at it, and if you know Kirby Lambert, you'll say, man, that's a Kirby Lambert. And so I think it looks fantastic, but it's not necessarily one of his designs per se. This is actually one of them that I haven't seen a ton of information on. This is a Albatross, and this is actually the smallest knife of the bunch. I was actually lucky enough to just acquire this one, and I'm going to do a video separately on it. But man, what a great knife this one is. This one has the dragon scale and the carbo quartz, excuse me. But this is a really, really neat knife. This is a Blitz, and like I said, this is actually one of the knives that he's been making for some time. So if you don't have a Kirby Lambert and you want a Kirby Lambert, then a good place to start would be a Blitz or a Crossroads, because I think they're I'd say the best deal. If you're into knives, you're always kind of looking for a good deal. So the Blitz is actually a really, really cool knife, and it's not like impossible to get. Like, I don't think you can get this one as of right now. Filming this is July of 2017. This is not a readily available knife. But I wanted to show this one as well. This one is signed by Kirby. Same thing, kind of a dark blade on there. But yeah, the Blitz is. The Blitz is one of those that you can find out there and get a good deal on if it comes from a private seller. This is Damascus. Most of these are zirconium bolsters. This one has marbled carbon fiber and a Mokutai clip. And Kirby works with just about every material out there. I've seen just about every material. I want to think if with the carbo quartz, I think I have quite a few of the materials represented on this table, but he works with just about everything. Okay, so this is a Crossroads. This is Mokutai. And like I said, a lot of times people will look at the Crossroads and it'll be hard to tell. This is the Augustus here, and I believe he named this knife after his son. So that tells you something that I'm guessing he really likes this knife, the design, and it really is quite a good design. You can see it's a little bit bigger. It's very similar. The Albatross is very similar to the Augustus, with the exception of the size. But these two are often confused. So a couple points, and if you're looking at them, it's going to be hard to tell if you can't see them side by side. But the shape of the blade's a little bit different. And I know he will interchange some blades. I saw some pictures of him putting on a blade that looks similar to this onto a Augustus, so that might be what's confusing people. But these are both MGT blades, but the Augustus has some jimping here, and it has a little cutoff here, whereas the Crossroads is just kind of a straight straight grind there. If you look at the top, the Augustus, the bolster comes down like this, where the Crossroads has a little bit of an arch to it here, and it has a little bit more of an aggressive finger cutout here, and a little bit different design where it comes to a thinner point down here, whereas the Augustus is a little bit less aggressive and kind of rounds out, and it's kind of a little bit fatter in the hands. I'm guessing just the way Kirby designs his knife that he probably, and I don't know this, so I'm just totally speculating, has bigger hands like myself and likes the feel, a good feel of the knife in your hand. All right, so that was the entire collection. I'll flip them over here so you guys can see the other side here. And the flipper tabs, like I said, all the new ones pretty much are jimped at an angle, so you could just really easily flip them. And I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about these knives, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I have spent my fair share of time searching for these things. So definitely, I can definitely answer any questions that you might have. But I just want to express my appreciation and my admiration for Kirby Lambert and his work. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. And hopefully you guys enjoy these knives as much as I do. Thanks a lot. Bye.